Good evening. Good evening, guys. I know it's Tuesday evening and you are not accustomed to seeing Juju on a Tuesday evening, but I felt compelled to come out and spend just a little time with you guys discussing and what I feel to be an important topic. So come on in the room and join Juju just for a few minutes. So we're going to have a real short discussion tonight about something that is important. So if you would please come on and join me. Come on in the room. I'm going to let one or two people get in the room with me. And I know it's kind of late, it's 7:30 and it's a school night and it's a Tuesday night. And I'm sorry, guys. I am so sorry, but I just felt compelled to come on and talk to you guys just a few minutes about some things that I had on my mind today. So when you come in, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, telling me hello, let me know you're in the room with me. I won't keep you long tonight, I promise. But I just want to, I have been seeing all over the internet, all over TikTok, all over the news, a lot of misinformation about stimulus checks and who gave them out and you know, people saying, you know, they want to vote for president based on stimulus checks and those that they had received or had not received. And so I just want to give us a little history on stimulus checks and just make sure we understand when and why they are issued, and let us know really that it's not really a good reason to vote on a candidate based on the desire to receive a stimulus check. And I would like for us to be, you know, more informed than that. So come on in, guys. Tell me hello. Let me know you're here. Come on, join me. Let me know that you are here. Give me a hello, holler at me and let me know that you're in the room this evening with Juju. Just a quick little something to give you some information or give you some important information. So come on in the room. While you're coming and getting ready, give me a hello. Let me know that you're in the room with me. Give me a thumbs up. Shout me out. Like the video. Give it a thumbs up. And then share it. And we're going to get started. I did want to let you know about the things that Let's Talk has coming up in September. We have a very busy schedule this month. And this is just an impromptu video, but we have a very busy schedule. On Sunday, which is September the 8th, we will be talking about we'll be comparing the economic plans for both of the presidential candidates, and we'll be giving you the plans that they have for the economy, how to stimulate, how to grow the economy, and how those plans may impact you positively or negatively. And then we'll also, on the 10th, that is the debate, the first one between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and that will be at 8 o'clock p.m. We'll be here at 7:30. We'll be discussing the debate. We'll be having a live watch party. We'll be watching the debate live. Hopefully, Direct TV has gone south on me. And right now there are, I don't think ABC is even available on Direct TV right now, but hopefully they'll have that back. If not, I'm sure I can live stream it on YouTube. Somebody will have it live streaming. And we're going to live chat it and we're going to try to fact check it in real time, so it'll be something positive for you guys. And then on the 17th, of course, we will have our in-person, face-to-face live town hall meeting at the historic St. Luke AME Church here in Opelika. Super excited about that event. It will be hosted by Let's Talk. It will be held at the historic St. Luke AME Church. It will feature Monica Riley from the Alabama Alliance. Also, Representative Jeremy Gray will be there, and we'll have an attorney from the Alabama Alliance, and so it's going to be a good event. Hello guys. So a lot of stuff going on, but anyway, when you come in, tell me hello. Let me know who's out there with Juju tonight. I like to know who I'm talking to. Let me know that you're in my living room with me. And tonight I just want to talk real quick. I'm not going to keep you long, I promise. But I want to talk real quick about economic stimulus packages. Hey Jasmine, hey Duchess, how you ladies doing? Welcome to this just impromptu Let's Talk, and we're talking about stimulus checks. So welcome. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. So I have seen a lot of, like I said, a lot of black people, especially black men, saying, hey Ishmael, saying that they were planning to vote for Donald Trump because he gave them stimulus checks. And so we want to just really talk about the stimulus checks, and then the history of them. And it's not something that is unique to Donald Trump. And the special circumstances. So if you want to vote for a candidate, we want you to have something, foundational, something solid, something concrete, that will allow them to earn your vote. Not based on, something that is fleeting or one time or due to an abnormal circumstance. And then also, we don't want you to be misled into thinking this is something that is strictly something from that particular candidate. But anyway, so we'll just go ahead and get started right quick, and we'll know that in 1977, President Jimmy Carter was the first president to actually propose a stimulus check. And he proposed a stimulus check of $50 stimulus rebate for each taxpayer and each child, each individual in the United States, to help stimulate the economy in his economic stimulus package. Although many of the Republicans were objected to it, and so he was forced to remove that particular portion from his stimulus package. He was actually the first president to propose a stimulus check, and his would have been $50 per person. That was what he was proposing, and that was in 1977. So we gotta say $50 per person. You're like, what? But that was cost of living was a lot different back in 1977. So anyway, so then in 2008, that was the next president that proposed a stimulus check, and that was the Economic Stimulus Act of 2008, and that was George W. Bush. He proposed and actually issued a stimulus check in 2008, and the stimulus check that George Bush issued was a single $300 for single taxpayers that had filed taxes the previous year, $600 for married couples filing jointly, and then $300 per dependent under the age of 17. And that was in 2008 that was issued by George W. Bush. So that was the first rebate that was actually issued um, uh, to the American people under George W. Bush in 2008. But we know then that the economy, hello Rodriguez Barnes, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. But we know the economy in 2008 was in a bad shape. It was we were headed into an economic recession, and so we were in an economic recession. The housing bubble had burst, and stock market was down, and everything was going on when George W. Bush issued that first stimulus check in 2008. Then we also know that the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, that was President Barack Obama. And he issued a stimulus check or a tax rebate. And his tax rebate was $500 per taxpayer. And he also, in his tax rebate, hello, Miss Stewart, how are you doing? Thank you for dropping in and joining us. If y'all would just give me a couple of likes, get my algorithms up. If nothing else, thumbs up. So the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, we were still trying to stimulate the economy, and it did a lot for boosting the housing, the banks that had done that, the lending, the risky lending, and a lot of people defaulting on mortgages. And so it invested in banks, it invested in the automotive industry that were going bankrupt, and it also issued $500 per taxpayer, $300 to SSI, SSA, and VA recipients. And then it also included a $7,500, which was later increased to $8,000 first-time home buyers tax credit. So all those credits were issued to people to stimulate the economy. And so that was done by President Barack Obama. And once again, it was to bring us out of the recession that we were in 2009 after Obama was taking over for George Bush. And of course, when Obama took over, the economy began to blossom and grow, and we added jobs and things of that nature. So everything was humming along. And of course, when Donald Trump took over in 2016, we want everybody to know that he inherited a very healthy economy. The Obama administration had created a very healthy economy, and that is what Donald Trump inherited. But we also know that Donald Trump did a lot of tax cuts and things like that that were not healthy for the economy, and he wants to reinstitute those tax cuts and even more if he's reelected. We're going to talk about that with his economic plan when we talk about the economic plans on Sunday. But then we also know that COVID came along and everything shut down and the economy went really bad. And that was a public health emergency, a PHE, a public health emergency, which allowed the government to do certain things that they could not normally do. Certain laws can be passed and certain things can be extended as a result of a public health emergency, like the increase in food assistance that was going on then, everybody receiving maximum allotments, the increase in the unemployment that was going on at that time. All this was a result of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, or the CARES Act, that Donald Trump issued in 2020. This was issued in March of 2020, the CARES Act. And under the CARES Act, each taxpayer received a $1,200 tax rebate. Now, the difference between the economic stimulus checks that Bush and Obama had issued and the one that Donald Trump issued was one simple and major fact. Donald Trump required as a stipulation for him to issue those checks, because he didn't want to issue them, but he required that he put his name on the check. It was the Donald Trump, the check, like it was from him personally, like he was, and that I think is what confuses a lot of people. He wanted them to come out in check form. He didn't really want them to be direct deposited or anything like that. He wanted everybody to get a check, and he wanted to have his name on it, like he had personally written out Americans' checks, and that was not the case. And he was not the first to issue stimulus checks. Like I said, it was proposed first by Jimmy Carter. The Congress voted it down then, but the first one was actually issued under George W. Bush, and then the second, Barack Obama. So actually, that was the third time in American history that stimulus checks had been issued under Donald Trump. And then the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, that was at the end of the year, that was in December of 2020, and the checks actually came out in 2021, but they were passed by Donald Trump under his administration, and that was a $600 check for each taxpayer, and he signed that in December, on December 27th of 2020. So okay, so that was that stimulus check. So a total of $1,800 in stimulus money, stimulus checks from Donald Trump. And like I said, there was an increase in food assistance and all that Congress passed in this Consolidation Act, in this Relief Act, and in the Consolidated Appropriations Act, to try to stimulate or sustain the economy, which had crashed after in 2020 as a result of coronavirus, the poor handling of coronavirus, and all of those other things. And then in 2020, also in 2020, Joe Biden, the American Rescue Plan, he issued a $1,400 tax rebate, or stimulus check. So under Joe Biden, you got the $1,400 rebate. Also under Joe Biden, and this is what I think a lot of people forget, because once again, he didn't have his name on the check, but the advanced child tax credit. He increased the child's tax credit from $2,000 to $3,000 or $3,600 based on the age of your child. So that tax credit was increased, and the increased amount was advanced to you. So it wasn't, you have to wait till you file your income tax to collect that. It was advanced for 6 months, and it was $250 to $300 per child for 6 months. So if you think about that, the money that was placed directly in people's pockets, especially those with children, was considerably, well, not considerably, but it was more, because you're getting $300 to $250 a month. So that equals 100. That equals for 6 months. So that equals up to $1,800 in that 6 month period of advanced child tax credit, and that came directly to you as well. So I just want you guys to know, first of all this American Rescue Plan, the Consolidated Appropriations Act, and the Coronavirus CARES Act was because we were in the midst of a public health emergency, a public health emergency. So this is not something that you can depend on. You can go back and think, okay, so we're going to get another check when Donald Trump comes in. No. So I want you to make informed decisions when you vote. I can't tell you who to vote for. People vote for whoever they want to vote for. You vote your conscience. But when you're voting, make sure that you're making an informed decision. And so when I hear people, and it's sometimes cringeworthy when I hear people say, well, Donald Trump gave us stimulus checks. Yes, he did. He didn't give us, let me say that. He didn't give us. The United States government gave, just because he put his name on it. He didn't write that out of his bank account. And like I said, he did not want to give it, but he conceded to let the Congress give it, with the condition that he be able to put his name on that check, something that no other president has ever required or desired, because it was not about them. It was about the American people, the economy, trying to stimulate the economy and trying to help the American people. But with Donald Trump, of course, it was about him. So that's why he wanted his name on those checks. And that's why people seem to think that, he is the author of stimulus checks, and if he's back elected, we will get more stimulus checks. That's not going to happen. And I also want you all to realize, when it came to putting money directly in people's pockets, Joe Biden gave more to people, especially those with children, with the advanced child tax credit, the increase in the tax credit. These were monthly checks that were coming to people to help support them. And then also, we also want you to realize that Barack Obama gave directly with those tax credits for first-time home buyers. That was cash money that was put into people's hands, those first-time home buyers. And I know about that one personally, because I personally got an $8,000 check when I bought my house, and Obama was president, and it was a tax credit. Hello, Jonathan Collins. How are you doing? How are you doing this afternoon? Thank you, this evening. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you'll be able to join us on Sunday when we talk about the economic plans for each of the presidential candidates. But anyway, did any of you guys have any questions that you would like to ask, or any comments that you would like to share with us tonight before we leave? I just wanted to get this and try to, like I said, make sure we have correct information, not disinformation, misinformation, And when we're making our decision to vote, because it's not something that we should be taking lightly, that we are not being hoodwinked and bamboozled by certain candidates or certain surrogates of certain candidates into thinking one thing when that is not the reality. We want to vote reality, and we want to vote in our best interest. We want to vote for candidates that are going to represent our best interests, and we need to know the truth about their record and the history, and so that we can make that really truly informed decision. So did anybody have anything they wanted to add or any questions that they wanted to ask tonight before we leave about the history of the tax stimulus check? Jasmine says, I've been in and out of the live, but people saying they will vote for Trump based on stimulus needs to think about if they want money up front or better economy long term, which is true, Jasmine, because you look at the fact that when Donald Trump was president, he is the only president in recent history that lost jobs. There were fewer jobs when he left office than there were when he came into office. And then we have to also realize that Joe Biden has created more jobs, the Biden-Harris administration, more jobs in the last 3 years than the last 4 presidents combined, which is an astounding statistic. And also we have to remember that since the end of the Cold War, which was 1989, there has been 51 million jobs created in these United States. And of those jobs created, 50 million of them were created by Democratic administrations, and only 1 million created by Republican administrations. So that being said, we do need to consider those jobs, or those the candidates and the administrations that's going to give us an opportunity to create wealth for ourselves, give us an opportunity to get good jobs, give us an opportunity to make a living wage. What candidates are promoting a living wage and increasing the minimum wage, and then we can create it for ourselves. And if we can create our own wealth, our own economy, our own money, we can earn our own, then we don't have to depend on or wait on someone to give us $1,200 or $1,400, because $1,200 over a 4-year period, that's really, or $1,800 over a 4-year period, that's really not anything that's going to help us at all. And Jasmine said that exactly its purpose is to stimulate the economy. But did his term do that? No, it did not. We still had to, the Biden-Harris administration still had to come in and work very hard to stimulate the economy and to dig us out of the recession that we were heading into. And so, and everyone thought that, and everyone said that we were going to go into a recession and even maybe a depression. But the policies that Biden and Harris instituted prevented that. And so the economy has been doing very well, with the exception of inflation. And inflation is going down. And we know some of that is forced inflation. But Anyway, all right. Thank you guys. I just wanted to talk just a little bit about the stimulus, because we want to get rid of we want the facts about the stimulus, and make sure we can make an informed decision. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Duchess. Thank you, Rodriguez, and everyone who has joined me tonight. I pray that each of you all will have a very good night. I'm going to go prepare for work tomorrow. Remember, I am that mountain moving giant slayer. And until next time, I wish you guys much love and many blessings. Good night.